Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So today we're going to do a run, taking down the Hybrid Saiyan category Super Battle Road stage without items. Now, I did record attempts of this. I guess this is something fun I could probably do on Twitch, right? But I did record attempts of this, trying to take it down. I was recording, but not giving commentary, right? Like, oftentimes I can focus much better when I'm not trying to focus on doing commentary. So, like, you know, this is something that's incredibly difficult, and, I mean, a lot of it is based upon luck. Like, for example, right? Take a look at this rotation. This is good. You know, Super Saiyan 3 Trunks getting hit. Number one, Trunks has a 50% chance of activating his guard ability. That is going to save, you know, 60k plus on a super attack or something like that. You know, any attacks after Trunks supers are going to do way less damage because he stacks his defense. You know, so where the enemies choose to put their super attacks makes or breaks this run. Then we have LR Trunks at the end here. Like, you know, Fasha deciding to super attack this Trunks right here, or deciding to super attack, like, you know, next turn when we have a better defensive unit or something like that in front of her, like, that makes a big deal. Like, so, you know, this isn't something that you could just walk in and get done one try. Well, I mean, with most of these stages, it's going to be like that. You're going to need a lot of luck, right? I was able to do it. This took me, with this team, I want to say this was like the second or third attempt I was able to get it done. Really, this first stage is super hard because I'm overloaded with STR units, right? But my thinking for doing that, my reasoning, was you only fight AGL opponents in this stage. The second and third fights do not have any AGL opponents. So after we get out of this first fight, that's where we can really start to take control. See, like, this is going to hurt. Type disadvantage, Goten will get super attacked. 173k is a huge number. See, like, those types of things make or break if you're going to be able to get this done with no items, right? So, the runs, what's interesting is I had a couple of, like, bad luck runs where I lost in the second fight. Like, I actually made it out of this fight. Usually, now here's another thing that's insane. A couple of runs, I got the Dokkan attack in this first fight. Like, we got the Dokkan attack right away in this fight. Now, one other strategy I'm using here that I should explain is usually your best bet is to take down as many of the enemies. Yeah, see, look at that. The difference between Trunks having his guard ability active and not having it active is a huge amount. But usually you're best off, like, whittling down the weaker enemies first and then going for, like, you know, Bardock, who's the strongest opponent on the field. But in regards to Shugesh right here, my strategy is to leave Shugesh alive as long as possible, because LRB Pan restores, what is it, 33% of your health when she attacks an enemy. Now, because she's supering Shugesh, who's physical, she gets the extra type advantage. So, you know, very often we're going to have LRB Pan healing, you know, 70k plus minimum when she supers Shugesh. You know, if we get something like an additional super or a crit, B-Pan can pretty much full heal us when attacking Shugesh. So, as much as possible, I do have her focus on hitting Shugesh to give us the extra health. Now, LRB Pan really is the MVP of this run. I would say physical LR Trunks is probably in spot number 2, because he is really such a good mix of offensive and defensive abilities, especially if you have him built the way my LR Trunks is, where you give him 20 additional. Like, at that point, you know, if he gets double supers, which happens, you know, fairly regularly with 20 additional, he's stacking his defense twice, which makes it so that he is able to tank very well on that second attack, right? It just ends up being very, very good. So here we have B-Pan. We're able to avoid an attack with her. The thing about B-Pan, right, why she's, like, pretty much the MVP here. So, number one, she supers early, which, again, it seems like maybe that's not really that big of a deal, but it is a monster deal. B-Pan being able to super early means we you know, every single turn we get her super attack. It's just very, very easy for her to super. Plus, you know, she has Shattering the Limit along with Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, so they form a pretty good defensive rotation right here, which was my intention here. Then B-Pan also can stun, which is good. Like, you know, any stuns are absolutely just massive for actually, you know, beating this with no items. Then also she does reduce damage. Let me double check what her like damage reduction number is. I believe it's 55% is what she gets. And her damage reduction works like Tech Bulma. Yeah, okay, so she has a 50% chance to reduce damage received by 55%. Now, LRB Pan and Tech Bulma work differently than normal units in regards to that, right? Traditionally, when you would have a unit with their passive like that, and it's like a high chance, it either activates at the start of turn or it doesn't, right? Super Saiyan 3 Trunks is a perfect example of that. Ultimate Gohan, his guard ability, is a perfect example of that. But LRB Pan, hers activates like mid-turn. It can activate mid-turn. So you'll see times where B-Pan will get hit and she'll take 40k. Then she'll get hit and she takes, you know, 33k. Then she gets hit and all of a sudden, you know, she's taking like 10k damage. That's because her passive activated. Once it activates, it's active for the rest of that turn too. So LRB Pan and Tech Bulma, the free-to-play one, both have tremendous value in terms of their damage reduction. Now, did I aim for Fasha with B-Pan? I looked away for a second, but I feel like I aimed for Fasha on this turn to keep Fasha from potentially super attacking Goten. Did I do this? I actually can't remember. I definitely did this at some point in one of these runs. I was doing these runs back to back to back. No, I went for Shugesh. Okay, just for maximum healing. See right there. So B-Pan did 330,000 damage. She recovers 33% of that for health for us. So like after she supers, we're back up to full health. And then also notice what I was saying before. You know, getting the Dokkan attack with this team in this first fight is something that happens quite often. Here we are. We're closing in on that Dokkan attack, but I do believe we are able to save the Dokkan attack for the next round, which is really good. You know, the Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz fight. Now, I guess I've explained my reasoning for using a lot of these units. You know, LR Trunks, physical LR Trunks, really, like, he just... I've found him to be incredibly useful and valuable in a lot of these modes recently. Just the way his card is built, he was not as good when he first came out compared to something like, you know, LR Gohan, LR Broly, but nowadays I will absolutely run LR Trunks over LR Gohan, LR Broly, LR Majin Vegeta. I probably like LR Goku Black better than LR Trunks. Maybe. We'll see. I've not really used LR Goku Black in the Legendary Goku event because obviously Goku Black is tech, but it would be very interesting to see how LR Goku Black will perform if we get another one of those Legendary events where the tech type units don't have a supreme disadvantage, right? But like right now, I think I like LR Goku Black slightly better than LR Trunks. But you know, LR Gohan, Majin Vegeta, and Broly I think have fallen off quite a bit. For me, because they don't have defense, right? You know, LR Gohan still hits like a freight train. He doesn't lower his defense like Broly does. And same with Majin Vegeta. Very easy from the super, hits very hard, but doesn't lower his defense like Broly does. I am very... Okay, so see, right... Okay, perfect. So, we got hit with 200k right there, but B-Pan's... Oh, okay, we got it. Sorry, that's nice. B-Pan's passive for sure activated after Vegeta's super attack. That's why, like, you know, she went from taking 200k on a super attack to double-digit damage from normals. Then, you know, I believe I had her super Raditz, right? So we were able to get a lot of that health back. This was a pretty tricky turn right here. As much as possible, too. Ultimate Gohan is, like, really disappointing. Oh, and right on cue, he gets his guard ability, huh? But Ultimate Gohan is just a very disappointing unit. He tends to get bodied very hard. He can do good damage. I mean, his links are bad. Overall, I would just like, I think Ultimate Gohan is right there with Future Gohan, Int Goku Black, and then probably Tech Hit as well, and then SCR Super Buu. Those are the bottom category leaders, I believe. Like, you know, Ultimate Gohan, you can get him to hit super hard on like the Goku lineage team or something like that, but it doesn't change the fact that he, you know, his guard ability, if it was a high chance to activate instead of a medium, Ultimate Gohan, I think, would be twice as good, because you'd be able to rely on that at that point. Now, LR Trunks, I took a bit of a gamble here. I had to do it because we had to give LR Trunks the Dokkan attack, right? LR Trunks is going to destroy these dudes. Like, he's going to... Raditz is done. Nappa very likely could be finished off as well if it was a crit, which it's not. Oh, yeah, Nappa barely got touched. If it was a crit, Nappa would have been obliterated. But that is going to probably full heal us, right? So I had to take that gamble of, you know, having LR Trunks in the first spot and letting him get the Dokkan attack to do maximum damage and then also heal us a good amount. And it does work out because, you know, we don't get super attacked again after that, and Trunks heals most of our health back. So Ultimate Gohan is very disappointing. I did use the STR Rage Trunks as well. He has damage reduction. The lower your health is, the higher his defense gets. He's just overall a very good unit, especially for these sort of like difficult stages. He doesn't tend to hit very hard, but like, you know, damage, what his main priority is, he does work out rather well. And then remember too, so like nearly our entire team is STR. In the final fight, you have Physical Paragus and Physical Broly. So all we have to do is make it through this fight, and then it's basically a guaranteed win, because Broly and Paragus, like, they're not going to be able to do enough damage. Unless they would be able to both super attack, like, Physical LR Trunks on a turn, where we wouldn't be able to be taken out by them, pretty much. And then because they're both physical, LRB Pan is also going to heal just a massive, massive amount of health. Now, I mean, so we've gone over all the units. I mean, you guys see I have a full rainbow team here. I mean, to make an attempt at no item on one of these stages, you don't need a full rainbow team, but like a lot of the units you are going to need rainbowed, right? Like, you know, this Rage Trunks, like if you plan on using him, you're going to want him rainbowed. If you're going to use LRB Pan, you have to have her rainbowed. I mean, she's free to play, so that's not really that big of a stretch, right? But a lot of these units, you know, you're going to need a lot of rainbows because you need the good luck with crits, additionals, dodges. You need all of that stuff to happen if you're going to be able to get through this. Now, looking through the roster of Hybrid Saiyan characters for extra characters who could help, I decided to do this before LR, Gohan, and Goten came out. But once they come out, like, this becomes a joke. Like, it's not even difficult to do a no-item run with this stage. Because, again, Gohan and Goten are the second best unit in the game. They are just ridiculously powerful, offensively, defensively. They do also have their active skill, which, in a lot of stages, it's designed to where it's not that easy to get. Even in Super Battle Road, it's not really that easy to get. But in the final fight, you're very likely to get it. Against Broly, like, it's literally set up so that, you know, you could finish off Broly with their active skill. So for a no-item run, they are amazing. And plus, you could run a double, like, Siblings Bond / Goku Family category team to take down this stage with them as the leaders. And that would work incredibly well. I mean, just look at a lot of the units on here. Most of these units we could use, except for the Trunkses on that team. Now, you know, LR Physical Trunks has been huge, but, like, he does not hit nearly as hard as LR Gohan and Goten are going to be hitting, especially because they get additionals and stuff like that. So, when they come out, it's going to be a joke, right? You probably... See, LR Gohan, in LR Gohan, he does such massive damage, but your issue is that final fight, you're up against two physical enemies. So, you know, you could be in a bit of trouble with kind of like, you know, like moving Gohan around. You can't let him get hit too many times. He doesn't have any sort of defense. So, like, if you get supered, you're done, like, in that final stage. That's why I chose not to use him. LR Goten and Trunks, while they are incredibly powerful, there's not a lot of STR units for them to really take advantage of against. I believe in my first couple attempts I was using them, and I decided to switch them out, I believe, for EZA Goten. Oh, I didn't talk about EZA Goten, but, you know, him creating rainbow orbs, he's good offensively and defensively. I mean, I've been touting how great EZA Goten is since he first came out last, what, like May? Or, yeah, it was last May on JP. He's been that good ever since then. Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, of course, is amazing. You probably could go... You could use Great Saiyaman 3, I think, but I don't really recommend it because, like, he does lower his defense. I mean, he's still good defensively. He gets his counters in. I don't know. You definitely could do it with him. Transforming Trunks, while amazingly good, you know, he's suited for very long fights. A lot of times in Super Battle Road, you don't get those super long fights. This stage does drag on a little bit because Broly, I believe Broly has at least 10 million HP. So you're going to be in this fight for, you know, 5, 6, 7 turns. So, you know, Tech Trunks would be very strong in this stage right here. But the rest of it, not too great. You could use Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. I do think that would work. And I do think you could do it no item with him, because he will hit ridiculously hard. But on the Hybrid Saiyan team, it is reasonable that you could get the, whatchamacallit, under 12 key super attacks for Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Very, very reasonable. I mean, you could make a rotation of Super Saiyan 3 Trunks and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. I think that would work incredibly well, because then, you know, you only need 1 or 2 key and you're good to go. Like, I think that'll work. Gotenks, of course, does get, how much defense does he get under 12 key? I think it's 50%. Gotenks gets 70% defense when key is 11 or less, and then you put that on top of his already 11,500 defensive stat, and Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, like, his defense is going to work out really well. But, you know, he's not going to work good on, like, the Fusion team, but on the Hybrid Saiyan team, you definitely can get it done. I think Super Saiyan 3 Gohan is another option here. He's definitely strong enough to where I think you could probably get the no item run done with him, because he gets a lot of defense, especially after he super attacks. His defense goes up quite a bit. So as long as you don't have him in that first slot, he will really, really look good. And again, I think a rotation of Super Saiyan 3 Trunks and Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, that would work out incredibly well. That would probably really, really help you in taking this down. Looking at the STR units, I don't really think there's anything else that will help overly. I mean, I guess you could go with the STR, like the Waifu Banner Pan, because she has, like every turn she gets a 15% chance to dodge attacks, which is very good. And then she gets 70% attack and 120% defense for 7 turns from the start of turn. So 120% defense, and then by the time her defense is going to run out, which might only happen in this fight, she's going to have a 60% chance to dodge. So that pan is going to work really, really well. I definitely could have used her maybe over Rage Trunks. She would have done really good. She also raises her defense on super attack. Yeah, that pan is just very good. Like, they did a good job with some of the Dokkan Awakenings for a lot of these units. Looking at the physical units, I guess you could do Easy A Rage Trunks, the physical one. He is a very powerful support type unit. He's also very, very strong. All right, now we got this too. So LRB Pan also does have her active skill available to her. I didn't mention that earlier when talking about her. This is a massive, massive buff in damage. So with this, physical LR Trunks, like, especially if he manages to get a crit, which, you know, a lot of times Trunks does get crits. If he gets a crit on Broly with his active skill, he is going to do, like, it's just an absolutely, like, inconceivable amount of damage here. Now, I'm having Pan constantly target Broly because, again, I'm looking for that stun to come into play. But we are, you know, he is physical, so we are still healing 100k per attack, basically. So, you know, that LRB Pan, very, very good. I think, yeah, Paragus does survive right there. No way I was going to have LR Trunks attack Paragus because I needed the big damage on Broly. We did get a crit. Trunks, huge, huge attack on that physical Broly right there. And then now, you know, we have just so many SCR units. As soon as Paragus goes down, that guarantees our victory. Like, 100% we're going to win. Like, there's no way. Because one Broly super attack is not going to be able to do enough damage to us to finish us off. Plus, we're also closing in on another Dokkan attack. Like, that's how long this run took. Like, multiple Dokkan attacks. And Super Battle Road, dude, that is super, super rare. But you could also probably use Future Gohan. Now, again, Future Gohan is not really set up the best for this, like, type of run. A Super Battle Road run where most of these fights are pretty quick. But in this fight right here in particular, the Broly fight, you will probably be able to get several turns for Future Gohan to build up that damage reduction. I've said this a million times. If Future Gohan would just start out with his 50% damage reduction, he would be an amazing unit. He would be amazing. But, like, you have to build it up. Like, you know, for the Legendary Goku event, he's amazing. But, you know, most events, you're not going to have... Because it's not after 5 turns he gets 50% damage reduction. It's every turn he's on rotation, he gets 10% damage reduction up to 50%. So, it's just bad design for him, I think. Because he doesn't hit that hard. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him go above 2 million. I think he probably could get above 2 million, but I've never seen it before. Like, whereas, like, STR Super Buu, very casually, you could get above 2 million turn 1. And then, like, that's not even with him transformed, right? So, like, that's one reason I consider Buu a little bit better. Buu with the healing, too. I mean, Gohan is, of course, a better defensive unit than Buu, but a lot of times you're just not going to see it. There's so many different things they could have done with Future Gohan to sort of fix him. One would be if he permanently stacked his attack and defense would help him out a lot. He has 100% attack at the start of turn, but his defense, he gets up to 100%, but it's less HP remaining the greater he gets defense. So when you're at full health, Future Gohan doesn't even really have that impressive amount of defense. So, like, they just held back on him so much. It's so disappointing because we were so excited. Like, oh, yes, dude, Future Gohan, like, it was, like, one of the coolest characters in Dragon Ball. So, like, I would love to have an amazing version of him. I mean, I guess LR Future Gohan is where we're going to have to put our hopes. Maybe a transforming LR Future Gohan base form to Super Saiyan. Or perhaps, Future Gohan plus, Future Trunks. I think that could be a possibility. Right around this point, too, I started to get very nervous because my phone was dying. Like, I think when we finish this stage off, my phone has, like, 2% battery power left or something like that. Because I didn't want to do any cuts during this, right? So, like, I was... Like, if my phone died, like, I could have just charged it up for a little bit, turned it back on, we would have been in the same place, but I didn't want there to be any cuts in a no-item run, just in case people would think there's shenanigans or something like that. So, good thing we were able to finish them off just in time. Very, very long run, by the way, but, like, you have to play it super defensively, super cautiously. I am going to try and do more of these, by the way, these no-item runs. I was only able, because of the hero stuff dropping this weekend, I wasn't really able to get a lot of these attempts in. So, like, next week, I might try and do, like, Revived Warriors. I might maybe try and do, like, Super Stage runs. I don't know, the Super Stage is going to be tough, but, like, we could use, like, Transforming Trunks, LR Kale and Caulifla, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. We have LR Vegeta, LR Gogeta. Like, you use any superclass ally. So, I think, while difficult, it definitely can be done. And there we go. Broly is finished off. No item run completed. There we go. I will definitely try this with other stages whenever, I get free time. I definitely don't want to try this during the week and use tons of keys, but during the weekend, definitely something I could give attempts to. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hybrid Saiyan, no item done. Next weekend, we'll move on to the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.